In this video, we are looking at the tiny new action camera from Insta360, the Insta360 GO 3S, an S upgrade on the really popular Insta360 GO 3. Now, loads of people like that action camera, but also had a lot of flaws as well. Let's see if this is any better. So I've always been a fan of these Insta360 GO cameras. For something like literally the size of your thumb, you can actually get really good quality and a really unique POV angle. But the only downside to the GO 3 and the generations before that was that the video quality wasn't very good. You see, the GO 3 maxed out at 2.7K, but the GO 3S, this finally now shoots video at 4K, up to 4K 30, and the slow motion's been improved as well. We now have 1080p up to 200 frames per second. Now, a great advantage to these cameras is the ease of use and the size. So a perfect opportunity for somebody to get a camera like this who wants to go traveling, but now able to get 4K quality. So what a perfect opportunity for me to show you all the features, how to use this, and my review on this, the good and the bad, in a fantastic area like this. So I'm going to show you traveling around this island, what it's actually like filming on this, using this camera, showing you the features, showing you how to use it, showing you all the different angles, and then we can decide who this is for and should you go out and buy it. Now, one of the downsides to the GO 3 I didn't like was that because it was so small, I was always losing it. Down the side of the couch, down the side of the car, I was forever losing this thing. But now the S version, it actually has integration with Apple Find My. This is absolutely fantastic. I wish more companies would do this. I'll show you how to work it. Let's say, for instance, I've lost it somewhere in this area here now. What I can actually do is go onto my mobile phone and then go under items, and it can actually be listed now as Darren's GO 3S. So you can sync it really easily. All you've got to do is turn your application on, it will pair, job done. And then all I've got to do to actually find this is go on this application and it will show me exactly where it is. So it's saying it's somewhere over there in that bush. Now, I've got the directions, so I can open up the directions and it will tell me exactly where I need to go. So I'm going to walk over this way now and hopefully should be able to find it. And also I can play a sound. So I'm going to keep playing a sound now as I walk over to this suspicious bush. And as we get closer to it, you can actually hear it beeping, and it will continue to beep until I find it. And here it is. What a fantastic feature that is. More companies have got to do this because I lose so many things. And this, I would probably lose in a week at most. And I lost the GO 3, took me ages to find it, lost the one before that. So now having Apple Find My is absolutely fantastic. So I've made it to this absolutely fantastic location. It's got to be one of my favourite on the whole island. Filming in 4K 30 now, I've got this mega view on, so the actual image, you get this really wide angle shot, but there's hardly any distortion in the corners. So if you just look here, the quality coming from this video now, this is more than acceptable for such a tiny action camera like this. I can see myself on that screen completely in frame, and then I can actually tilt this camera around. I can put the screen at the back and then see exactly what I want to film, making sure everything is posed correctly. Because the camera can come off the action pod, it means that I'm not tied to holding it like I am at the moment. So now I'm just holding it out in front of me. But what I could also do is I could mount it to my chest. And now you get this like POV view. So exactly what I can see. And it's a pretty good view. I'm sure you'll agree. Just look at this. Have you ever seen anything like this? This whole road here, the whole landscape, it's just on another world. I mean, if you can dare come up here, it's worth it. It's the road to Secalobra, and I highly recommend it. So that is much better. But another fantastic feature of this action pod that certainly gets overlooked is that when you're holding this in your hand, so let me just switch to my phone. So I've just got this handheld here, and I've got the action pod down there. Well, that action pod, it actually turns into a monitor. So that is now a wireless monitor. So I could see myself on that monitor there, even though it's not connected. And all I have to do is actually move my head to the side and I can make sure that I'm still composed well. Now, a lot of people are going to ask about overheating. Now, I've not experienced any overheating as such where the camera shuts off. The camera does get warm, especially in 4K. Now, it is about 30 degrees here. So Insta360 say if you're filming in 4K, you should be actually currently moving, like cycling, walking, running, not static, because then there's a risk that it could overheat. Let's not forget that this camera is tiny. In 1080p, they're saying that you shouldn't get any overheating whatsoever. but I'm going to be filming majority of that time in 4K anyway, unless I'm filming slow motion. So I'm pleasantly surprised, even in hot conditions like this, it's not overheated. The Action Pod has a 2.2-inch flip-up screen and all the settings are easy to navigate and the screen can clearly be seen even in bright conditions. The whole setup is really lightweight. The Go 3S is only 39 grams and the Action Pod is 96 grams, so combined it makes a really lightweight setup. Now having a camera this small makes a perfect vlog camera, especially for travelling, that you can easily document on. So whilst travelling around this island, I was really impressed with the new 4K quality. I also really like the new Mega View as well, but you also have Action View and a narrow view for more of a traditional standard view with no distortion. But the 4K captures nice amounts of details, even in bright high noon conditions like this. I was impressed that the highlights still aren't blown out. The video quality is more than good enough, especially for social media. You get flow state stabilization built in, and you can also get horizontal and vertical video. But I also find it's not just video, photos coming out of here are really impressive. For the size of the sensor on here, just look at some of the photos that you can snap on this tiny little camera. And you can also have a lot of fun with this camera. I can have the camera mounted inside of the car to get different angles. I could hold it outside. I can have it on the included chest mount, on my hat. There's loads of different places where you could actually mount this and you can get really creative with it. Is the Go 3S waterproof? Could you take it in the water like behind me there? Well, yes, you can. It's actually waterproof down to 10 meters, so slightly better than the last version, but the Action Pod, it isn't. Now, it is splash resistant, so they say it can withstand some water, a bit of rain, but you're not going to be able to get this submerged. So it means if you're going to be going out in the sea like this, then you can get the camera wet, but you're going to have to leave the Action Pod back on land. And this means that if you was to say go on a boat or a jet ski, you're probably going to have to just take the camera itself with you, which means then you're limited on time. I would say in future versions, the Go 4, it would be great to have the Action Pod also completely water resistant. But the Go 3S, if you want to just take that like I'm going to show you now, it can get some really good shots in the water. One of the things I love about these cameras is that the back of it is magnetic, so you can mount the Go 3S to any metal surface and get video without the need for any tripods. You can then use the Action Pod as that wireless remote control to stop and start recording, but also to actually see yourself as a monitor. It's a fantastic, really convenient setup. But if you have the Go 3S mounted, rather than actually using the Action Pod and pressing stop and start recording yourself on the buttons, it also has gesture and voice controls as well. So you can have it mounted like this. Then if I put my palm in the air, it will actually start and stop recording. And then to take a photo, all I have to do is the peace sign and it'll take a photo as well. It also has a new interval mode as well. So it's going to be great if you're on a day out, you might be with the kids, you might be cycling, and you don't want to actually keep stopping what you're doing to hit record. You can have this mounted and set your own custom interval settings. And what the camera will do is you just turn it off and then it will actually turn on after 5 minutes and actually keep recording every 5 minutes until that video has finished. And then it will then also create you its own video as well with music, so you don't have to do anything. This is going to be great for those day captures where you want to actually capture the memories, capture that moment without having to physically do it yourself. Now, with regards to accessories, Insta360 give you these 3 accessories here. It's good to see that these are still included. The baseball cap, this allows you to actually adjust the mounts here, so it's really good. So if you're on a bike, what you can do, you can get your camera and it snaps straight in like this, hit record, and then you can adjust the angle. So if you want a top-down shot, you can adjust it to get a forward shot. So this is really good for walking, hiking, biking, anything where you're going to be moving. You could have this on here without any effort. You don't have to hold that camera. You also get the magnetic chest mount as well. This has been improved, it's a lot better now. As you can see now, you've got an indicator which allows you to actually put the camera on horizontally, and then also what you can do is take it off. It's a really strong magnet now as well. Snap that on and now you're going to get vertical content. And it's also got auto alignment now, so you don't have to do anything in the settings. You don't have to do free frame video. So if you want a horizontal video, you just have it like this. If you want a vertical video, you put it like that. Dead straightforward. And you get the pivot stand as well. It's been slightly improved, so you can adjust this, so you can put the camera on the top of it, either in the Action Pod or without, and also on the bottom now. So this, you can mount it to things because it's got a sticky base here, so all you got to do is take this sticker off and then you can stick it to things, and you can keep reusing this if you want to. You just have to wet it. And the bottom of it has this new attachment now, so when you're not using it, if you do lose this sticky part, then this stuff goes straight over and then clips over it in place. So then you can just transport it like this, so you're not going to worry about losing all the stickiness. It's going to come in a 64 and 128 gigabyte version. The storage is integrated, and you get a choice of white or this black colour, which I think looks fantastic, very sleek and a lot more discreet. I'll also put the prices on the screen here for both versions. A great advantage to these cameras is that discreetness. You see, if you're vlogging or you're out filming your travel adventures, you might not want a lot of people looking at you with a big camera. So having a tiny camera like this is a big advantage. So who is this camera for? I think this is going to be perfect for travel vloggers, families, somebody who wants something which is different to the traditional action camera look. The flexibility that this is going to give you, being able to use this as a traditional action camera with that flip up screen, or you can actually take the camera out and use just this and have this as a wireless monitor. This is something you don't get with other action cameras. And I think the integration with the Apple Find My is a fantastic move. More tech companies should do this. It means if you go and misplace this, you can't remember where you've put this, you can go into your phone and it will actually show you exactly where it is. Absolutely fantastic. And the 4K on here is a big leap forward as well, much better in quality now than that 2.7K on the Go 3. These are also really popular with FPV flyers as well, because you can get this camera and you can mount it to an FPV drone. Now being able to record in 4K, this is going to be a really popular camera for small FPV drones. I do wish that the actual action pod was completely waterproof, just like the Go 3S. Unfortunately, it's not. I would say that's my only critique of this whole setup. Hopefully in future versions, we see this to be waterproof, so then we can actually take this whole setup into the water, get this submerged, whereas at the moment, we can't do that on the Go 3S. You do have to have this camera inside of the action pod for it to be even splash proof. If you don't and you just have this and you get this wet, it's probably not going to end well. So overall, I do think this is a really good upgrade. I use the Go 3 all the time, using this to get different angles. I could mount it to me like on a kayak here and get really cool shots and not have to worry about taking a big camera with me to get all these angles. With the downside that this was only 2.7K. Now on the Go 3S, we have 4K, so this is going to be much better. So I'm going to be using this a lot more now. So really happy to see these decent upgrades we now have on this camera. If you want to go check this camera out, I'm going to link it at the top of the description. Come to this awesome midnight black or Arctic white. I'd personally go for the black, it looks fantastic. And if you use my link, it's going to help out the channel a lot. I highly appreciate that. If you've got any questions on the Go 3S, just feed them down in the comments down below and I'll try and answer as many as I can. I hope you enjoyed this video and showing you around Mallorca. What a fantastic place. If you did, just hit that like button, just help out, get this video to more places. Subscribe, so loads more content coming really soon. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.